So I typically don't come on the weekends. And I thought because of that reason, I'm going to. Because why not? I always talk about my sexy walks, and I don't think that I've ever had a sexy walk on live. And I love my walks. I love my walks. Walking is therapeutic. You can get out, you can think, and it's a good habit to have. Even when it's not so warm outside. Like, walking for me is a habit that regardless of the weather, I'm going to get my walk in. And how nice. Usually, like, I'm the one that swings my arms. I do a very intentional walk. I can't really do that via live, but I am like one of those power walkers. If you see me walking, I'm swinging my arms, because my thought is, if you're going to walk, put as much effort into it as possible, because I'm going to do it anyway. So if I'm going to do it, I'd rather get the maximum benefit for me during that time, which means swinging the arms. And you know, everyone loves a chiseled arm. A chiseled arm isn't ever not wanted. A nice chiseled arm always looks good. You never hear anyone say, I don't like my chiseled arms. Everyone loves a nice chiseled arm. And so sun's out, time for the sexy walk. And I saw that content, and it's always stitched, and it's like, can someone please post content if you're at the age of 30 and starting over, because I feel like I don't want to try anymore. There's already 3 things that could be learned from just that statement. First, this thought of by 30, by 25, by 40, by 50, just a thought of an expected outcome by a number, which is age, you're already setting yourself back, because age means nothing. It means nothing. All it means is the amount of years you've been on Earth. It doesn't mean that you have a certain level of intelligence. It doesn't mean that you're accomplished in any area. What's up, TW? It doesn't mean anything other than the expectancy that you put on it, which is always going to be wrong. It's just always going to be wrong, because everyone is on their own time. And that pressure of having something by this thing called age, it doesn't actually mean anything. And I'm referring to this piece of content because as a rebel, it wasn't about age for me. It was the fact that it would get done. And to have the belief that I have to have something done by something like age will limit you. If it's, I will complete it, and I will complete it as I do. It may take me longer or shorter. But even connecting an expectation with how your life will look like by an age sets you back. Leave that alone. Then the other part of the content was starting over in life. Who has started over in life at 30? What's up, Zach Black? And thank you for the gift. We're always starting over. Again, that's where that thing called age comes in, saying that this is a negative thing if I'm restarting. Most of the time, that's when people restart. As a person, I've restarted purposely and when life has redirected me, but many times. And we're restarting often. We're restarting friendships and relationships and how we show up in life. But when you see it as a negative thing, to restart means bad. To restart means I did not do something right. Maybe the restart is actually not a restart. It's just a redirection, and it's actually the intention of where you are going. Thank you, Mr. Licks 28 for the follow. So again, it's this expectation of what your life would look like by an age or by a feeling of having made it, which you never feel. Having made it, you may feel less at lack at times, maybe more at ease at times, but this feeling of I've made it and nothing else is for me to have in life, it's not really something that happens. And it ebbs and flows. What you feel like is security at 22 is not going to feel like security at 35. So I'm mentioning this to really take all of that emphasis off of age. It's the fact that, number one, you live at all. If it's in a spiritual sense of being grateful just to have this experience. And if that is the thought, then it's not really about age. It's really about what you're learning in the process. Because that's what it's about. At the end of your life, no one says at your funeral, you know what, they didn't learn how to scramble eggs correctly and they always felt like a failure. No one cares about that. And seeing life as everything that you're learning, not the failures. It wasn't a failure. That's what had to happen so you could learn that information that you now have. So if that did happen again, a different choice would be made. Thank you, golden child. That's it. To give yourself grace enough to say there was no way I could have known how to do that. I didn't have the skills. I hadn't been in that situation. So maybe that was there to give me that knowledge. And restarting in life is beautiful. In fact, the courage and the bravery that it takes to start. Let's stop with restart, just start. Because a lot of people do start, but do you finish? You can start wanting to go to the gym, that's great. But it comes down to that boring, repetitive action of showing up. In reality, the goal of starting is to stay consistent, which is the most difficult part. You don't start to start. You start to go to the next step, which is consistency. And automatically after consistency, you will finish. Because once you're consistent, if it's a habit is something you don't have to think about. So you will just naturally do it. But you will have to be consistent first, which can be challenging. But once you know, okay, before I make this a habit, I have to be consistent, you just are consistent. You just show up because you know that's a part of it. Or at least for me, not you, me. And in that way, you're almost hacking your brain because, hey, I know I'm starting this habit. These next 3 weeks are me building this skill. 21 days. I'm building this skill. Let me get through 21 days of that daily habit. And after 2 weeks, it's already a habit. So restarting life It takes bravery to restart because, yeah, most people don't want to be uncomfortable. To restart means I don't know anyone. To restart means I'm uncomfortable. To restart means I have to learn something new and I don't trust my learning process, or maybe I didn't have a great experience in school, so I'm just turned off by a schooling process I don't want to learn. I want to stay where I am. I want to stay in the profession or the relationship or the place that I live, and I don't want to challenge myself to do anything else. That ultimately is why people are upset and bitter, because the reality is they do want something else. They've wanted something else, but to actually make that change to be or have something else, it's not that it's too daunting. It's just that the assumption is it's not for me. I may want this, I may hope for this, but even if I try, it won't work out for me. Which I have compassion for that, and just that belief will make you not want to try anything. And so that's where you have to remember the things that you've already accomplished. Because to set yourself up to try something new and say, I'm not going to make it, that's when you have to remind yourself who you are. You have to remind yourself of your accomplishments. If that's just getting up today, that's all you have to do. All you have to do actually is just get up and be. But to really remind yourself the things that you've grown from or learned or survived or accomplished, just to remind yourself that maybe it can happen for me. Maybe I could be this. Maybe I could accomplish this. Maybe it could work in my favor instead of I could never have that. That would never happen. Just that other choice of maybe. That other choice, just having another choice. Quit just telling yourself no. Allow a maybe, and the maybe will get to the yes. The maybe will get to the yes. And, not too far in front of me, I'm so excited because there's this planter full of lavender. And I go and pick my fresh lavender, which I love. And I usually put it in some room, or I'll dry it, or I'll throw it in the fireplace. But fresh lavender is lovely. And I love fresh flowers, but fresh lavender is absolutely fantastic. Did someone say what country is this? It's kind of bright, so reading the comments is slightly challenging. I will do my best as I am walking through the sunny, bright neighborhood. Who else walked today? I hope everyone's getting out and getting active. Do not leave the cold months for you not to move your body. Movement is necessary. You have to move your body. You will always feel better when you move your body. Even if it's cold. So also on my walks, I like to identify certain plants and identify a lot of the fruit plants. And there's, in this area, a lot of olive trees grow naturally. So I see a lot of olive trees, and I'll show these things to you. Quite a few pomegranate trees, a lot of citrus. There's a lot of citrus. Citrus can grow anywhere, and it does grow well everywhere. Merci. Oui, promenade. What would I call this? Arrosement. Promenade Arrosement. Thank you, 58 Derby, for the follow. So, there's a lot of olive trees, naturally, pomegranate trees, citrus, orange, lemon, lots of rosemary. But my favorite is my lavender, which is right up here. I'm so excited because I haven't collected any lavender in 2 or 3 days. And I updated everyone last night on my the dog that ran into my arms has been rehomed. No one contacted me, and I had found someone to hold the dog, and she loves the dog, and her dog loves the dog. So the dog is happily rehomed. The win. It's the win. So I am now coming up to thank you, Kenneth Willacasson, for the follow. My lavender patch where I pick my lavender. And there's 2 types of lavender. And this is the most beautiful part of knowing these plants, because I noticed they are all over. So let me change this around. So this is all lavender. This is a lavender plant. So essential oil, like lavender essential oil, this is the lavender plant. And this is lavender, but a different species. So they're both lavender. They both smell of beautiful lavender. As you can see, the needles are completely different. And I pick from both. I like that has a different smell than that one. It's richer, it's pungent, the flowers are different, and the wood is so powerfully pungent. It smells so good. It's like the best. So I will, let's see, I'll pick some lavender. So I got just a little bit. I pick up a little every time I come by. And I'm very happy now that I have my lavender. I have my lavender. Faire planter pour mes moutons. Moutons. Ouais. Oh, wait a minute. Hi. Oh, the sun came out. So this is the walk with my lavender. Oh, that wood. It's the best. It is the best. I like to actually walk in the street or on the grass, but not necessarily on the sidewalk. I believe the street, the blacktop, is softer than the sidewalk. It's actually softer on your joints. I don't know how true that is, but that's what they say. And I like to always walk on the grass. I usually take off my shoes and ground myself so I can walk in the grass, so I can feel the earth. Yeah. And I said I was going to make some cookies last night. I'm going to make cookies today. I like oatmeal chocolate chip. My mom likes oatmeal raisins, so I'll make both and put it in the fridge so she can make cookies whenever she wants. And I will have my oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. We will both be happy. And I'm excited about that. So, that's it. That's absolutely it. I'm going to go ahead and continue my walk with my lavender. That's the best. And be present in my walk, because it's a part of one of my daily meditations, to soak up this sun and enjoy the rest of my day. So thank you for coming with me on my walk. Go subscribe to Hope is Speaking, my YouTube page under the same name. Follow me and stay bright and in the sun, because you're supposed to shine. I've had nothing to eat today. Pour moi, ce matin, je bois thé avec lait et canela. I think canela is in Spanish. Y thé de Indien. Yes. What's up, York? Pas de mange pour moi aujourd'hui. What was I saying? I was saying to be the love, because we all come from an infinite source of love. Show up and go work out. Like, really. Stop saying it's too cold. You can move. There's YouTube. Move your butt. Do something. Work your arms out, because you're only 6 weeks away from, oh shoot, I should have been working out. It goes like that. It's just like life. You are thinking that this winter coldness is like forever. It's not. In 8 weeks, it's already warming up. But since you've been sitting and saying it's too cold, you ain't going to be ready when it's time to show some skin. And the people that have made it a habit are already out there walking or in the gym or whatever you do. So don't use that as an excuse. Move. Like Beyonce said, move. When you can, get sun, because it's important. It's great for our mental health, which at this time sometimes needs a little bit more care. When you can get some sun, get some sun. If you can't get some sun, fly to get some sun. It's that important. It's worth it. If you always feel better with a little sunshine, let me tell you. I know. And I'll only tell you what I know, okay? Drinking water. Yeah, on the subject of all of this. And sleeping. All of these things you should be doing, but there's the expectancy of like, if I'm doing that, I'm lazy. No, if you're doing that, you're recharging. You're resting. And I don't need to tell you what I am or am not doing anyway. If someone were to say I'm lazy, that's okay. That what you think of how I show up in life has nothing to do with me. I like me. I make all of my decisions from me, not because of someone else or wanting someone else's attention. So anyone's opinion of me has nothing to do with me. Ah, merci. Merci. Oui, je sais. And to get to that point really means to like yourself. Just like yourself. Feel that you're worthy to exist. And if we aren't there, and someone does have an opinion about you, you may actually believe them. Or you may feel that what they think is what everyone thinks. No one, as my dad would say, no one is thinking about you. And as I said, slightly toxic, but it's the truth. People are thinking about them. They may think about you for like 3 seconds, but what do you think about you? What do you think about you? Do you like you? If you like you, why does what anyone thinks about you matter to you? Why does it affect you? It will only affect you if you don't actually like you. And it's a powerful place to say, oh, I'm lacking self-confidence. That doesn't have to be a full place to say, oh, I'm lacking self-confidence. That doesn't have to accept. What is it? Or you just continue saying, I'm insecure. That doesn't do anything. Again, saying, well, they shouldn't have said that because I'm insecure. What you label yourself has nothing to do with anyone else. And no one knows you like you. So even to think they shouldn't have done this because they know, no one knows. No one, they don't know that about you. Most people don't know most of the things that you don't like about yourself. They're unaware. So getting to a space of trusting yourself and liking yourself means to actually understand yourself, probably to spend more time alone and asking yourself questions and asking yourself, am I doing what I want to do because I want to do it? Did I choose the school I wanted to go to because it was the school I wanted to go to? Or was I told to go there by my parents? And I went there and I didn't even like it and I wouldn't even have done it. If you consistently do that, you probably won't like yourself because you are not even making decisions for you. And when you do make decisions for you, that changes things. There's a confidence in saying, yeah, I chose to do this. I'm happy I accomplished this because I wanted it. But if it's an accomplishment that someone said you had to have for their love or for their acceptance, you may not actually appreciate that. That may actually be something that's an accomplishment that's not yours, isn't held in the same light. But all of this is okay. This is for us to say, is this me? Is this my way of thought? Does this serve me? Am I that person? Can I let this go? Is this even an issue? But you won't know until you ask the questions. Simply, do I like myself? And understanding the answer is always the perfect answer at that time, because I say it always comes back to us. It's always us. It's always a lesson for us to learn. Even saying I'm angry. I remember something happened. I was like, wow, I'm really angry. I have anger and I have to release this anger, because anger can be used. Everything can be used to your benefit, I believe. But anger isn't really. Feelings are supposed to be felt and released. That's not always taught. Au revoir. Anger is not really taught how to release it. And it doesn't mean punching someone in the face. For me, it wasn't hitting anyone, but it was actually saying, wow, why am I angry? Oh, I'm angry because someone took something from me. Okay. Why does that make me angry? It makes me angry because I feel like that's a violation. Something was taken from me. I am really upset. I am physically angry. I have to release this. So I went and got my mop, that cool mop that you put in the spin bucket and you put your foot on it like vroom, 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 like that. And I took the mop stick and I gathered all of my pillows from like my couch, and I just pretended like if I could beat this anger, do it now. And I just hit these pillows with all of that anger, and it was like just a movement of energy, and then I went on with the day. But I had to physically hit those pillows with the stick to move that out. You could work out, you could do many things, but be sure to move it from you, because it's not meant to pile up and stay. And that was powerful for me, because then it wasn't with me for the day. I let it go, I acknowledged it, and went on with the day. And that's powerful. But also using whatever you feel to be what you want. And that means I used an example of when people break up and then they like do a whole makeover with their body. It's because they're almost channeling, shifting, focusing on something else, with the driving force being that breakup. Like, I want to look my best, I don't ever want to go back, whatever it is, but using that in that powerful way to then accomplish the full body makeover, or when people completely remake their lives after a breakup. And that can be used with anything in life. I know I have done that maybe with breakups, but I've never had a breakup. I don't know these breakups that you guys like completely detest the opposite person. I've never had geography wise. How about that? Geography wise. But also, when I moved to DC, I was 22. Moving to London at 24, I was a different person, and London's definitely not DC, but it was like a different time in my 20s, and it's a city and it's cold. I dress differently. It was different. That was different from Paris. Paris was different from New York. It was all at different times where I gladly restarted. I'm in the country of Hopeland. So I like the restart. I love the restart. I just changed my phone number again. These Corvettes are fake me out Ferraris, and they know they took the body style from a Ferrari. Yes, how I love the restart. I often change my number. Whenever I move to a different city or country, I always change my number. Most people don't get the new number. I love a good cut-off fresh start because you don't really need as much as you think you need. Meaning, I know I have everything I need in every moment in life. Because why wouldn't I? If I didn't, that means I'm lacking something at some time, and I will always need someone or something. I believe in any situation I have all the tools it will take, meaning the intelligence, meaning the guidance, meaning the decision making, meaning everything. And because of that, I walk with an air of confidence because there's nothing that I cannot solve in life. And because of that, whenever I've restarted, it's like I've done it once. I can definitely do it again. Yeah, well, it's an American-made car. I would get, one of my favorite cars is a 1957 Corvette, like an old Corvette convertible with red and like it had an inner circle that was white. I love classic cars. And I would get a classic Corvette, but I would not buy any American sports car, ever, ever. I like my sports cars Italian, okay? Italian or German. I love a restart, and a restart often can shows me my power. Of me. Like knowing how powerful you are, knowing that you can maneuver anything. To find that out means to like try stuff and learn. Not say you failed, but I learned from this. That's really where my confidence comes from. I've gotten myself in and out of colorful situations, but it's simply because I believe I can figure it out. Everything is figure outable. Everything. Figure it out. The thought isn't, I'll never figure this out. The thought is always, I'm figuring this out. I have everything it takes. I am the solution. I love that the solution has came to me. Not why would I do this? This is stupid. I can't figure this out. No, it's the exact opposite. And I'm bold. You got to be bold in life. People will not like you. Assume that. For me, what's not to love? I also think it's that. If there is a dislike, so what? For me, what's not to love? I also think it's that. If there is a dislike, so what? I don't know anyone's there's nowhere I go where I think that people don't like me. I would never expect that. That's like expecting I'll get in a car accident, or expecting, what's up, T? Or expecting my house will get broken into, I don't expect anything like that ever to happen to me. Why? It won't. I just make that assumption. whatever comes to me, I can handle. So either way, I'm good. But to walk around with the expectancy or the fear of harm, that becomes heavy. That is maybe not beneficial. To expect things not to serve you. And there's also there's work that you can do to get there, but if it's not a big deal to you, then leave it alone too. These are just thoughts I've had. And I also believe, I always share that this is a truth. It's not the truth. It's a truth in a world of truths. And the beauty of knowing or hearing or being open is to hear it. And if it resonates, great. If it doesn't, great. It's either or. And that neutral is helpful for me. Everything is neutral. It takes something to get there. But everything is neutral. It's only my perception or someone else's perception. That's it. After this walk, I'm going to make my mom some nachos. I always make my mom nachos, and I make the good nachos because nachos need to be nachoing. They have to be like loaded with cheese, but not cheese. My mom doesn't make them right. You can't put it in the microwave. You have to have really crispy chips. You have to have perfectly shredded cheeses, and you put it under the broiler in the oven so it gets really hot and it bubbles up. It's delicious. Then you put the other toppings. You see how I love talking about this? Because you got to make it right. All right? And the cookies. So that is the Saturday. And I'm so glad the sun came out. So, the neutrality, being bold, liking yourself, which means a lot of, there's a funny story with this. So this was my old flight attendant watch where I always had usually Eastern time because there was a time where I lived in New York and London, and GMT time, which is London time. And it's from one of my favorite artists, Philippe Starck. Philippe Starck did a collaboration. He does a lot of collaborations. What a cute dog. He does a lot of collaborations. He's made homeware accessories, clocks. Philippe Starck, he has hotels. I stayed at one of his properties in Punta del Este, Uruguay, and he's known for having this big iron horse in the pool. Love Philippe Starck. So he's a French designer, very modern, almost uncomfortably modern. And I just started wearing watches again, and I love it. And look up Philippe Starck. Look up Philippe Starck. Look up Philippe Starck. Look up Philippe Starck. I am going to now go for my walk without you. So I close all of my lives with be the reflection of love, because we all come from an infinite source of love. Show up. Make it look good when you show up. And expect a miraculous, beautiful surprise today. You show up. And expect a miraculous, beautiful surprise today. Bye.